We pick up in the middle of a car chase. The perps are speeding down the highway, firing off at the police. A man is sleeping off a hangover on a public bench. He's awakened by a child telling him that his services are needed. The man sits up as a honey walks by. He fails to grab some ass, so he grabs the bottle.
Whoa, watch it, pervert!
Hancock has superhuman abilities. He flies to the scene of the chase. After ripping off the rear of the perp's vehicle, he takes a seat. He warns the men that he's going to use his strength to twist their bodies into an unnatural position if they don't surrender. The men empty their guns into Hancock. Unharmed but now pissed, Hancock lifts their vehicle high into the sky. The men beg him to lower them. Hancock grants their request. He impales the vehicle on the Capitol Records building. Hancock retires for the day. He's taking a bottle to the head. Hancock is a drunk. This cat is self-destructive and indestructible at the same time. Reporters and police have had it with Hancock. His methods of justice seem to always result in one step forward and two steps backwards. The public have also turned on him as well. This brother can't catch a break. Ray is in the public relations business. He's making a proposal to businessmen to join his program, All Heart. It's a program where the businesses will give their services for free. He heads home. Traffic stops and Ray finds himself trapped on the train tracks. He notices that the train is headed right towards him. He tries to maneuver his vehicle off the tracks, but the other cars aren't giving him space to maneuver. The train is getting closer and closer. It's looking bad for Ray. The Grim Reaper's about to do some reaping. Out of nowhere drops Hancock to the rescue. He flips Ray's car off the track. The train crashes right into Hancock. Good news, bad news. Bad news first. The impact of the train hitting Hancock caused a chain reaction of destruction. One train car crashed into the next. Here's the good news. He saved Ray's life. Now everyone's a critic. The people in the crowd begin to nitpick Hancock's method of rescue. He's got Karen in his face asking him to speak to Professor X, trying to get the brother fired. Well, obviously Ray is a dissenter amongst the crowd. Without Hancock's heroics, he would be smashed like trash. The angry crowd subsides and Ray asks Hancock for a lift home. Hancock drops Ray off at his crib. Ray's son Aaron and his wife Mary greet them. Better watch out, Ray. Mary's looking at Hancock and Hancock's looking at Mary. When little Aaron tries to invite Hancock to stay over for dinner, Mary tries to veto it. Ray overrules her. Throw a couple of extra Hot Pockets in the microwave, woman. We got company. So they're having dinner. Little Aaron is starstruck. He tosses questions at Hancock one after the next. Hancock appreciates the home-cooked meal. Hancock is enhancing the meal with a shot of alcohol. Brother got a habit. The table talk subject matter shifts to Aaron. He's being bullied by a neighborhood kid. Hancock offers some advice on how to handle a bully. Mary contradicts Hancock. She doesn't believe that violence is the answer to every conflict. The exchange is getting scrappy. Hancock excuses himself from the table. Time for an Irish goodbye. Ray stops Hancock before he flies off. A meatball dinner doesn't quite measure up to saving his life. Since PR is what Ray does, he offers Hancock assistance in cleaning up his image. Later that night, Mary voices her opposition to Ray's offer to help Hancock. And Hancock, while he initially resisted the idea, he now contemplates it. Ray welcomes Hancock into his home again. He wants to show Hancock the public's rationale for disliking him. On one occasion, after putting out a fire, Hancock was left butt out in front of a bunch of kids. Then there was a time that he rescued a stuck whale. Unfortunately, when he threw it back into the ocean, the animal crashed into a sailboat. And of course, there's the impaling of the cart that took place at the beginning of the movie. Ray gives an amateur psychoanalysis of Hancock. Mary throws in her 2 cents. Ray presents his solution to Hancock. Since there's been a call for Hancock to be held accountable for his actions, Ray wants Hancock to turn himself in to the law. Ray predicts that, in short order, the people will begin to miss his heroics. Hancock turns himself over to the state. He reads a statement to the press that he's going to turn his life around and do right. Hancock is booked. He He heads out to the prison common room. He's quickly encircled by the inmates. There's a lot of familiar faces in the joint. Hancock tells him that he's just there to do his time. Well, that's not going to fly with the prisoners. When they push the issue, Hancock gives them the same warning that he gave those guys earlier. Hancock has his thing about putting heads into asses. Well, they tried Hancock. Here's the reaction of the bystanders. Look at that, a human centaur, a man with his head stuck all the way up another man's ass. Ray has routine visits with Hancock. He provides him with consultation concerning proper conduct for a superhero. He coaches Hancock to compliment his fellow crime fighters with an attaboy, good job. Ray has also designed a superhero outfit for Hancock to wear. As usual, Hancock initially opposes the idea, but Ray pleads with him to trust the process. Mary is watching the news. Crime has shot up 30% since Hancock has been locked up. She takes Aaron to go see his hero. She also brought some of them meatballs for her brother. And little Aaron brought along his favorite action figure. He offers it to Hancock for support while he's incarcerated. Mary appeals to Hancock to protect Ray because Ray is a solid cat. Hancock is carrying weight now that he's got some good folk invested in him. One day while he's crashed out, Hancock gets a visit from a guard. He tells Hancock that his help is needed. Hancock flies out of prison. He drops in on a chaotic hostage crisis. The captain gives Hancock the rundown of the situation. There's one cop pinned down, there's hostages, and the bad guys have an arsenal of heavy firepower. Before he goes into action, Hancock tries Ray's tips on presenting a positive image. Hancock struts over towards the distressed cop, bullets bouncing off of his body. He makes it over to the officer and goes into his newfound PC, not me too tactics. Chicks like, grab whatever you want, just get me to safety. The captain has another request. Put down the robbers. Inside the bank, the robbers know that Hancock is about to make a move. With lightning speed, Hancock begins to eliminate them one by one. Only the leader, Red, is left standing. He warns Hancock that before he gets too hands-on, the hostages have been wired with explosives. If his thumb releases pressure on the detonator, the hostages will go kaboom. While Red is speaking, Hancock has removed the lampshade and sharpens his edge. When Red says the magic word that triggers Hancock, well, you know. Next, we see Hancock walking out of the bank. He's holding Red's hand with the detonator still in it, thumb still on the button. Oh, and the rest of Red is still in the bank, I suppose. Hancock is greeted with a job well done from the cops. The public applauds him. At home, Ray enthusiastically watches his project unfold successfully. Hancock is the man of the hour. He's out on the town with Mary and Ray. After getting the story on how the married couple met, the focus switches to Hancock's backstory. He tells them as much as he can remember. He woke up in a hospital in Miami. He was told that while trying to stop an assault, he got his head cracked open to the white meat. Miraculously, he was self-healed within minutes. That took place 80 years ago. This brings up 3 interesting Hancock facts. A, he doesn't age. B, he's invincible. And C, he doesn't remember anything before getting his skull bashed. Mary is captivated by his tale. Hancock is depressed that no one ever showed up at the hospital looking for him. It seemed that no one ever even searched for him afterwards. Mary becomes moved with emotion. Ray had too much to drink. Hancock has to tuck him into bed. As Hancock prepares to leave, circumstances draw him into Mary's space. Their inexplicable connection draws them towards a kiss. Mary stops him and throws him out. I don't mean she threw him out by saying, "Will you please leave my house now?" I mean she physically threw him out. Through the wall, across the street, and smashing into a parked car. Hancock is stunned. Mary is in his face with a quickness. She tells him to keep this a secret cause she got some more where that came from. The following morning, Ray comes downstairs to find a giant hole in the side of his house. Mary is quick with an explanation. She tells him that the hole was caused by a superhuman sneeze from Hancock. While Ray takes a phone call, Hancock begins to grill Mary for some answers about last night. Hancock begins to conduct several tests to investigate Mary's superhuman powers. She tries to dismiss Hancock, but he persists. With him unwilling to give it a rest, Mary agrees to meet up with him later at his place. In prison, Red is recruiting fellow prisoners in an effort to organize an escape. The cat's got a hook for a hand now. He sells his idea to the Centaur brothers. Red tells the men that he will help them get their revenge against Hancock. Mary arrives at Hancock's place. She got her own little sexy superhero outfit. Mary confirms to Hancock that they are the same. However, she is more powerful. She tells him that they are the only two of their kind left. Hancock asks her about their connection. She lies to him that they are siblings. Hancock can sense that their connection is a lot deeper than that. When Mary refuses to give Hancock more of his backstory, he flies off threatening to tell Ray about her secret. This begins a huge fight between the two. It starts at Hancock's place and winds up in the middle of downtown. Mary wants Hancock to just go away. She is finally at peace. Apparently her history with Hancock was rocky, but Hancock doesn't remember any of the history. He also doesn't remember that while a certain word triggers him, she also has a word that triggers her. When he repeatedly says it, Mary lifts an 18-wheeler truck and slams it onto him. Mary continues her assault. Oh, gal got God powers. She can control the elements. During the battle, a wall is ripped off of a building where Ray is conducting a meeting. Ray goes over and observes the superhero battle. On ground level, Hancock restrains Mary. He apologizes for whatever he's done in the past that made her rage like this. Peering from the building, Ray is wondering what the hell to make of all of this with Ray and his wife. The parties make it back home. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Mary spills the beans. She and Hancock are husband and wife, even though they parted ways decades before she met Ray. She explains the godlike nature of the two. Whenever they're apart, destiny seems to always draw them back together. Ray's wondering where the hell he fits in this picture. Mary tells Ray that the cosmic attraction of her and Hancock doesn't mean that they have to be a couple. Hancock is pissed for a whole different reason. Mary wasn't there for him after he got his head cracked, a time when he needed her the most. On a TV inside a liquor store, we see that Red and a group of prisoners have escaped. Inside the same store, Hancock is looking for some adult beverages to drown away the recent revelations. When he goes to check out, the cashier gives him an odd total for his items. It turns out to be a code for 911. A reluctant Hancock surmises the location of the robbers. He reaches through the counter and slings one of the men into the back wall. The other man reveals himself with his gun pointed at Hancock. He calmly engages the robber. Hancock grabs a candy bar and challenges the man. Simultaneously, Hancock throws the candy bar while the robber shoots at him. The robber goes down. Hancock begins to experience a sensation that he's never felt before. Pain. He checks his body where he was shot. He's bleeding. He staggers a few steps and falls to the ground. Hancock is hauled through the ER. The news is beginning to spread concerning the shooting. Ray grabs Aaron and they arrive at the hospital. While Hancock lies in his room, he's visited by Mary. Mary tells Hancock that he was vulnerable to the bullets because he's beginning to turn human. This happens whenever she and him are in close proximity for too long. Man, I gotta tell you, throughout this movie, this chick has been giving out information in dribs and drabs. Could have told him that a long time ago. The two were together when Hancock was attacked. When Hancock woke up in the hospital and he didn't recognize her, Mary took the opportunity to separate from him. She played it off like she was doing it because it was best for him. Without them bound together, Hancock could be powerful and continue to save the world as he was destined to do. Next, we see Ray and Aaron on the elevator headed to see Hancock. Also in the elevator is someone with a hook for a hand. We see the Centaur boys making their way down the hospital hallway. Ray makes it to Hancock's room. He sees his wife having a moment with the superhero. Come on, son. We'll come back after your mom's finished sucking another man's finger. Mary and Hancock are interrupted by two gunmen. They fire off shots, striking Mary. Hancock runs to her rescue. He puts her in bed. Hancock goes into kill mode. He starts to get some quick payback on the bad guys. Mary tries to get to her feet and help, but quickly goes back down. Hancock slides the vending machine across the floor. He tells Ray and Aaron to hide behind it till everything's over. Meanwhile, Mary is slipping away. Hancock manages to take out the bad guys, all but for one. Red is now standing behind Hancock. He fires a shot into Hancock's back. Hancock manages to rise and gets some matching bullets in his front side. Ray stands over Hancock to deliver the kill shot. Here comes Ray to the rescue. He swings an axe, cutting off Red's other hand. This cat ain't got no hands now. Ray then knocks Red out. Hancock lies on the floor dying. Mary is receiving defibrillation. She flatlines. Mary, she dead. The doctors respond to Hancock. Ray and Aaron watch as the doctors perform pupil tests. Hancock, he dead. Upon Aaron walking away, he witnesses Hancock open his eyes. Hancock, now he not dead. Hancock gets to his feet with one mission: get as far away from Mary as possible. He jumps out of the window. The further away he gets from Mary, the stronger he gets. Consequently, the stronger Mary gets as well. Mary's heart begins to beat again. Mary, she not dead too. We jump ahead in time. Ray and family are enjoying a night at the fair. Ray gets a call from Hancock. He appears to be on the moon. Verizon cell service and came a long way. Hancock has done Ray a huge favor. The family sees that Hancock has carved Ray's All Hearts logo into the moon. The two friends exchange admirations towards one another. Then Hancock flies off to do hero stuff.